I see it in wrestling. Like, people just seem to want to be angry about everything because it didn't happen the way they fantasy booked it in their head. Slight mental illness.
Oh, brother, you're preaching to the choir on this.
You know, like, hey, I bought tickets to go to this wrestling show, and then I look on Twitter and wrestling journalist 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 reports that there's going to be a big surprise guest, and I go to this show and there's no big surprise guest, and I spend an unhealthy amount of time complaining about that online, and it's just like, well, you weren't promised a big surprise guest.
It seems that... Hold on a minute. Does it seem that the Heels Advocate has to make this video, or does it seem like he doesn't have to make this video? Well, because you and I are both here on this video, that means that finally the heel has come back because he had to make this video, my brothers and sisters. So we have Phil Brooks, CM Punk, up in this piece, literally calling you and I mentally ill. He's calling us weird. He's calling us slow. He's calling us like parasocial weirdos, right? Because he is mad at us for the WWE themselves, Adam Pearce, legitimately teasing the return of Y2J Chris Jericho at Monday Night Raw, the anniversary of Netflix. Roll the tape.
Who can break down the walls and claim the gold? Who can break down the walls and claim the gold?
If that is not one big tease for something to the reality is this: CM Punk is kind of right in the sense that you cannot completely trust these dirt sheets when they're leaking or announcing who's going to appear, but I trust them more than the WWE. Like, I've went to a few shows and I simply relied on the dirt sheets for John Cena to show up. Like, you know, I've been to a few events, and this was even before tickets went on sale when John Cena was promoted by the WWE. Like, on this final tour, I've went to 3 shows, and like, you know, all 3 of them were promoted online by dirt sheets before they actually were promoted by the WWE. So I believe they're more trustworthy than the WWE. I mean, if CM Punk is trying to flame us for being like that, right? And the reality is, I don't think anybody was promised Y2J to come back, but we were at least promised something. I mean, not promised, but teased and, like, you know, hooked into watching the Raw Netflix anniversary with Stranger Things. But like a few months ago, I remember Triple H said tonight on Monday Night Raw, there will be a new landscape beginning tonight, right? It was this tweet right here. A lot can happen on a Saturday night in WWE. 4 high-stake matches, 2 new world champions crowned, and a history-making announcement for December 13th, okay? There's a new landscape in WWE starting tonight, right? And this is not the only time something like this happened, right? There's a new landscape. Tonight's Raw is going to be epic. We're going to deliver. And this has been going on and on and on. And the entirety of 2025 has been nothing less than a big fat disappointment. And for CM Punk to stand up here and criticize the fans, that always rubs me the wrong way. Because ultimately, right, the idea that these professional wrestlers, especially like in the last 5, 6, 7 years, the idea that they're somehow on par with actual like combat athletes or regular sports people is completely ludicrous, bro. Like, on paper, there is nothing different than a stuntman performing on movies than a WWE professional wrestler on TV. There's no freaking difference, right? They both play a character, they're both on broadcasting TVs, and they're both doing it for an audience, okay? One happens to be in front of a live crowd, and the other one happens to be on a set. There is no legitimate difference. Ultimately, the end product is to be consumed by people forking over their hard-earned money. And if there is something that they want out of that, is to be entertained. And if people pay a certain amount of money, and it is really a lot of money these days, I mean, let's hear from like Karrion Kross and Randy Orton himself. I mean, look at how they react to ticket prices being crazy high.
Yeah, they were expensive. Lower bowl, C135 for both nights.
How far back, bro?
Not on the floor at all.
Our seats were like what, 30,000?
Yeah.
Really?
This is our first Mania. I'm like, you know what? Go big or go home. I know.
It is embarrassing, Randy. Let's hear from Karrion Kross. These are WWE actual wrestlers, bro.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So I was sad.
Well, you could always watch it on TV, right?
Yeah. I keep seeing the time.
Look at his face. I mean, the fact of the matter is this, right? You can go online and you can look at tickets for WrestleManias before, right? WrestleMania, what was it, 1817 when Hogan wrestled Rock? I think Chris Van Vliet, he had like a row 7 or 17 seat. He paid 200 Canadian dollars for that, bro. For a WrestleMania. You can't even get your foot in these days for 200 Canadian, bro. What the hell? And now this poor mother, like, she's got to explain to her daughter, like, oh, you know, I can't pay for it. And like, it isn't like maybe, you know, it's like $100, baby, you know, like, you know, like, no, it's literally, I want to go to a Raw. I want to go to a PLE. It's going to cost me $300-400 just for a regular show, for $500-600 for a freaking PLE, bro. That's how much it costs. And honestly, you always have to do like ×2. You're not going alone. You gotta take your kid. Boom. Like, you're paying close to $500 to $1,000 for freaking Paul Levesque, for freaking WWE, for you to just to go on like a freaking SmackDown or like a Monday Night Raw to get bombarded with a bunch of filler female matches that don't mean nothing, and all the big stars are just somewhere, you know, doing nothing. That is what you want to like pay all that money for? It doesn't even make sense. Even that lady in the previous clip with Randy Orton, he's like, oh yeah, it's our first Mania, go big or go home. Go big or go home? The hell? I mean, you must be living in a mansion, bruh. Like, damn, like, you know, I hope you do. Because paying $30,000, and you know what's crazy? A lot of people, they pay it with Klarna or like pay it off in installments. Bro, people are financing tickets. Are you kidding me, bro? Oh man, this really pisses me off. So when CM Punk sits there on a podcast, and I really enjoyed this podcast with Robin, they were mainly talking about like movies and stuff like that, bro. Like, I watch wrestling interviews, and if you've seen one wrestler being interviewed, you've seen all of them. So from the perspective of it being like mainly about this movie that he's in, probably not watch it. I don't like horror movies, but it was a pretty good podcast. They didn't dabble too much into the wrestling stuff. And, you know, you could hear like him talk about something other than wrestling. So when he does talk about wrestling though, oh man, it sometimes it really hurts my soul. Like, I get, like, look, I like CM Punk, despite the character that he, you know, displays today on the WWE programming on TV. In terms of Phil Brooks, I have nothing against him. Look, I'm the heels advocate. You think on my passport it says heels advocate? No. As much as CM Punk plays CM Punk on TV, I play heels advocate on my videos, right? So when I'm talking or like digging at CM Punk, I am mainly you know, talking about kayfabe stuff, right? At best, I might be like, you know, shoot styling the freaking promo, but I don't really mean anything by that, right? And like, nonetheless, I have to just kind of hate the fact when wrestlers discredit what we have to say, right? That is the whole point that I cannot stand. The idea that wrestling fans have no say or shouldn't be mad at the way that Raw is, at the way SmackDown is, at the way WWE is, at the way the final retirement of John Cena went, is completely ridiculous. We have an opinion and we've got to let it known. You know what I'm saying? The people that were cheering you in AEW when you got there, who do you think that was? It wasn't like, it wasn't people from Hollywood, I'll tell you that much. You know what I'm saying? It's the people that you hate. It's the people that you hate. Like, I swear to God, I feel like these wrestlers these days, they hate their own fan base, bro. Like, I swear they would love for all, like, you know, I'll be the first to say this. Most wrestling fans are kind of weird. Wrestling is seen as like a little dorky thing. And most wrestling fans, they've got something wrong with them, bro. Right? Like 60, 70, like, let's be conservative here and say 80% of wrestling fans are fat. Right? Off rip, you're already like, you know, targeting a very, very unattractive demographic already, you know what I'm saying? And then you have to top it all off with the sport being fake and your audience being fat. In return, that gives out the projection that what you're doing is only, you know, suitable for fat people that nobody really like is going to respect, and whatever fat people might think is cool, that by default becomes uncool. Like, have you ever been fat, right? And let's just say you do something, right? You go to a gathering, you go out with your friends, and the topic of food comes out, right? There is nothing you can do to win, bro. You could literally say, I'm not hurt. I don't want to eat. I might just want to get a drink. Oh, look at this fat ass trying to go on a diet, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Or let's just say you and the boys just do a little drive-through at the McDonald's, bruh, and you give out your order, maybe like a Big Mac menu, maybe like 2 cheeseburgers on the side, maybe like a McChicken for the taste, maybe like a 10-piece nugget, maybe with some ketchup, maybe with some mayo. And then to top it all off, let's wash it down with a milkshake and then 2 iced teas. All of a sudden, they're going to turn around and look at you and say, God damn, fat fucker. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, bro, I can't do nothing right? Like, if you do it like that, then you're a fat fucker. But if you only order 1 Big Mac, it's like, look at him trying to be shy. Like, you can't win, bro. You can't win, right? So it's the same thing with these wrestling fans. They cannot voice their opinions without being discredited by, Phil Brooks, you know what I'm saying? Or like any of these other wrestlers. Now, one thing I will agree on is when they, go after these female talents and they, track them down in the airports and they're hunting down for autographs and being a little weird. Like, I hate that as much as the next guy. But come on, bro. When we voice our opinions about John Cena tapping out to Gunther, that he had it all Gunther, that he had it all Gunther, ying, 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 ying. You know what I'm saying? We should not be attacked for it. I mean, let's just hear it from CM Punk himself, bro.
I thought that was great. I was super happy about it, but people have their opinions. It's just like the John Cena Gunther finish. I feel like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Whereas some people, maybe I don't think you understand what you're watching.
Oh, yeah.
But
oh, so not only is the niche sport nobody watches, right? Their fans unaware of the sport that nobody watches, just them, right? Nobody watches it but us, right? We are not aware of what's going on in the ring, right? So we are the buffoons here, right? You know what I'm saying? We are the dumbasses here, right? But not you.
if you didn't like it, I can also understand that. But to overnight make it your entire personality and spend an unhealthy amount of time talking about it, put it this way: if John won, they'd be mad about that too.
Hell no. Hell no. You kidding me, bro? If John defeated Gunther, I would be like, all right, that's pretty much about right. In what world would John Cena not defeat Gunther, bro? He's beaten bigger guys, badder guys, stronger guys, more accomplished guys, more legendary guys than Gunther. If he went out on top, oh man, what a bittersweet moment that would be, because that would literally be the last victory of his career and we have to wave him goodbye, right? You think people were crying when John Cena left the ring? They would be bawling if he defeated Gunther that night.
But we wouldn't be talking about it anymore. And we're still talking about that finish.
Interesting.
The smile, the tap.
I mean, let's not blow it out of proportions here, bro. We only talked about it for 1 minute. And the reality is, we only talked about it for 1 minute. Okay, let's just say 1 week, all right? 1 week, because the WWE seemingly did an amazing job character assassinating him for the entirety of the year of 2025. By the time SummerSlam rolled around and he lost the title to Cody, for some reason, it already felt in that match that John Cena was gone. Anything that happened in between up until that last match, nobody cared about it, because John Cena, as we know him, was already gone. We didn't even get him this year. We didn't get Super Cena this year. I mean, like last year. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get him. That's crazy to say. On his retirement year, we did not get prime John Cena that we all remember, know, and love. We didn't get Super Cena. Did we get him at the Rumble? No. Did we get him at the Chamber? No. Did we get him at Mania? No. Did we get him at Backlash? No. Did we get him at Night of Champions? No. Did we get him at Money in the Bank? No. Did we get him at SummerSlam? Oh my God, Heels Advocate. Super Cena came back. Bro, he freaking lost. What are you talking about? He came back. Are you kidding me? Right? Did he come back at Wrestlepalooza? No, he freaking got squashed. Right? Did it come back at Trash at Paris? No. Did it come back at Perth? No. Did it come back at freaking Saturday nights? Did it come back at Survivor Series? No. He freaking lost to Dominic Mysterio. And then on his final match, he loses to Gunther. And so now I ask you, did we get Super Cena? No. No, we didn't. I mean, freaking out, bro. Even Steve Austin said it.
Box office doing that. What'd you think of John Cena's heel turn this year? Everybody, well, not everybody. A lot of people wanted to see at least one John Cena heel turn in his run, it was okay. It was okay, you know.
I mean, the fact that somebody who is a WWE legend, Hall of Famer, multiple time, the pioneer of the Attitude Era, somebody who's clearly not wanting to talk bad about the WWE, the best that he can do in softening the blow when he answers this question with an "it was okay," and you look at his face and you're like, look at the face of Steve Austin, bro. That face screams, come on, man. They messed it up. They messed it up to the point where it is literally disrespectful, okay? And everything that they've done was stupid. It didn't pay off Cena. It didn't make any sense. Not only that, we didn't even get him in a stronger version, okay? This was not a new version. We didn't get a new version of John Cena. We didn't get that one bit, okay? It was just stupid.
I like him better as babyface.
And we all liked him better as a babyface. That is exactly what made his heel turn so stupid, because he turned heel after he already won the Elimination Chamber. You win the Chamber, you already automatically have your match against Cody, but you still turn heel, right? It didn't make any sense. So you turn heel and it takes you about 2 or 3 weeks. Honestly, I'm always very critical when the they make something big happen and it takes about 2 or 3, 4 weeks before we get the follow-up promo. Like, for example, Brock Lesnar F5's John Cena, and it took about 5 or 6 weeks before he came out and cut a promo, right? That is unacceptable. But John Cena turning heel, that was so monumental, so big. Like, it literally took that long for things to cool down before John Cena could cut his promo, right? And that was justified. And I was waiting. I was literally waiting. I was literally hooked onto my TV. I was watching. I was like, what is he going to say? And the first thing that he says is, this is a dysfunctional relationship. I said, please, somebody go ahead and just flip the fucking ring upside down, because I am this is going to go nowhere, bro. Nowhere. And then what follows? Every single week he gets laid out. Every single week Cody Rhodes hits him. He lays him out and Cena's on his freaking back. Like, it is disrespectful. Like, I'm getting pissed off just thinking about it, bro. I gotta make another video talking about this, because it is just unacceptable.
But we wouldn't be talking about it anymore. And we're still talking about that finish.
Interesting.
The smile, the tap. Oh my God, the guy who said, don't give up, just gave up.
I was one of those guys, yeah.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of, everybody's an expert.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's just trying to be cute, bro. Now they're trying to play it off as if, like, we are not smart enough to read him in between the lines. Oh, Cena was tapping. That's why he kind of let Gunther win, because he knew this was his final match. And, like, if he didn't tap, then he would ruin Gunther's moment. Like, bro, what? Oh, he tapped out, but he didn't really. What? Are you? Oh my God. I'm getting literally, bro, like, so stressed. I mean, not stressed. I mean, this doesn't bother me, but I'm getting really annoyed at the sentiment perpetuated by the same athletes that need you and me to watch their freaking show so they can get paid. All you have to do is look at this, right? I didn't believe it at first, but a crackling fireplace on Netflix has more views than pre-tape Raw, bro. This is actually insane. Like, so on Tudum, Tudum is like Netflix database, and they have like weekly top 10 shows, and like, I'll give them credit. Like, you know, I don't know how much credit it is, but I will give the WWE credit for always being like in the top 10 of Netflix in America. But the sad reality is, bro, they opened up Raw Netflix 1 with 6 million viewers last year. This year, they're like around maybe 2 million. Maybe 2.5, maybe at best. That's a crazy, crazy dip, man. That is a crazy dip. Look right here. January, like last year, 6 million viewers. And then we go and like up until like the last available, like 2.5 million. Wow, bro. Wow. This is literally so sad. And look, credit to the WWE at least for being able to pull 2.7 million in the United States, not globally. I don't know what the global numbers are. Hold on. Wait, it says it right here. 6.8 view. Wow, that's in total. That's total. What the hell? Wow. 2.5 million globe. Oh my God, man. This company is cooked. And that's what I'm trying to say. I hate it when he does like these like smarky remarks, bro. Like, just let us be. All right. You want to take what we think seriously and maybe improve your character, maybe turn heel, maybe become a corporate punk and team up with Triple H and form the new corporation and do something heelish, or maybe Triple H can become an on-screen heel character and you can be the ultimate babyface and you can do like a shoot style like program with Triple H where you're literally like fulfilling what you always wanted to do, right? Kick Triple H's ass. Like, this could literally be Steve Austin, Vince McMahon 2.0, right? It carries the same heat, but they're not going to do it. Why? Because they don't listen, they don't care, and we are all stupid. That is the way they all think. I'm the heels advocate, and I'm out.